Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to episode 5 of the character tutorial series. In this week's video we're going to cover the male figure, and it's going to be a live recording, so it might take a little bit longer than it would take me if I had recorded this previously, but I feel like explaining as I paint allows me to go into details a little bit more. So anyways, that's what we're gonna do today, and what I am gonna show you guys is how I would approach like a Speedpaint, for example. So it's gonna be stuff that's a lot rougher, a lot simpler, and a lot fewer brush strokes. And yeah, this is what I would use if I were to start a painting. What's awesome with this is that it takes no time to do. Just a few brush strokes here and there. It takes a good 20 seconds, and that's about it. And once you're done, if you're not happy with it, if it looks like complete garbage, then you can just scrap it. Then that's no big deal. Nobody's gonna feel sad about scrapping a drawing that took you 20 seconds to do. So yeah, as as a reminder, also, you guys, this is a weekly video, so there's something new each week. It might be Speedpaint like last week, or a video tutorial like this. So make sure to follow and subscribe to get all the good stuff. But yeah, there you have it. That would be I would start with that. Let's say I want to have if I'm brainstorming poses for whatever character I'm going to create, I start with this. And just so you guys see, what I use is this brush, and for like the rough sketch I use this one and set to hard light, just because I like the traditional sort of water paint result that I get from that. And I'll put that brush in the description so you guys can grab it if you want. And of course, you don't have to use this one. You can use whatever you want, but I really like this because it looks kind of traditional. And so yeah, this is the the proportions I would use for most of my males. Obviously it's not realistic. The head is tiny compared to the size of this guy, so what is it, probably like 10 heads, something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, so he's pretty tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So around 10 heads. Normally it's a lot less for a proper human. I think it's 6. But what's the point of drawing proper humans? Might as well have some fun and make them a little bit heroic. So this is what I have, and of course it's really rough. There's not much to this. It's just basically a skeleton. But what I would do after this, I would go in and refine my brush strokes. Now that everything is placed, the length of things might be off a little bit, but it's mostly there because if you haven't seen the episode where I talk about the female figure, it would be useful for you guys to go check it out. But when I talk about the distances and like the rotation, the joints distance and all this stuff, it's the same thing for the male. Like I'm just not drawing it here, but that's what I think about when I rough it out really quickly. So let's duplicate that, and let's go clean this up a little bit more. So as usual, the head, when I think about it, it's always the same. Let me clean this up. See, if I had this on the layer, it would be a lot easier. No. That's because I'm stubborn and I hate layers. Alright. So let's go over here. Let's go over this. Let's collapse. Alright. And so what I think about, it's the same thing. So I'll just go really quickly, because you guys know what's up. I've done this. a lot in previous videos, just to show that there's there's a structure underneath these loose brush strokes, and I'm just not doing random stuff. It just comes this kind of stuff that comes with practice, and over time. Even I'm not that great at it. If I did this more, I would probably get the silhouette down in a lot fewer, maybe half the brush strokes that I actually used for this. But whatever, it's quick enough that it's definitely usable for me. So I have my torso here, the ball, and then the abdomen, another ball, and then the sort of like crooked cylinder for the hips, and the joints for the guys is a little bit closer together, as opposed to the females, which is like way out there here. Males have at least they tend to have slightly the smaller hips, and then bam bam, same distance to the heels, and there you have it. And then the feet, whatever. Same with the hands, same with the arms, shoulder joints here. Distance to the elbow, same as the distance from elbow to the wrist, and then a little bit less than that from the wrist to tip of the finger. That's it. It's all in there. It's just you can skip it once you get good at seeing it without actually having to draw it, and that's what I do normally. So I am gonna do a pose like from the side, so you guys can actually see how this skeleton works in different angles. Something I didn't do for the females. I'll get back to it a little bit later, because for females, you really want it to be really precise. Otherwise, it doesn't look like a female body, and then you failed at that point. And what's the point? But for males, you can be a lot rougher with it, and it'll always, not always, but most of the time, still kind of work. It's just something you can't do with females. So for this video, since I'm not, I'm not 9 minutes now, so I still have time to do this. So I'm gonna do the side version. So to try to explain what I do, let me put this on layer for this time. Don't do the same mistake twice. So I'm gonna do a really quick pass first, again, and then I'm gonna explain you guys what I did and the skeleton behind it. So that guy's not in any particular pose, it's just whatever, standing up for the purpose of this at least. And I'll make maybe one that's a little bit more dynamic after this. The arms. He's covering his junk. There you go. There you go. Alright. And there you go. That would be a side view from. He's kind of tilted because I'm not looking my straight. I'm not looking at my monitor straight ahead. Alright, this is better. There you go. And this guy. Right, let me push this on the side here. I'm gonna do the same. So I'm gonna do the skeleton for this one, real quick, so you guys see the shapes I use. And when I do like 3/4, it's gonna be sort of a mix between the frontal and side. But still it's not that complicated. So from the side, it's still a sphere for the head, and it's kind of like take like half the head here where the ear would start. It would go something like this, and then you go bam. So you have your face, and then the neck starts around here, goes down goes back a little bit because the spine is like this. So it's always curved, you know, even if you're standing straight, the spine is never straight. And then you just follow, you know, like your rib cage would be like this here. That's clearly too big, but and then your abdomen, and then sort of cylinder for your hips, and you know, heel, tailbone. Then the hips start here, kind of the same level as the other one ish. Let me zoom out for this. All right, and this joint is going to go straight down until the knee, to the knee, and then to the knee, to the from the knee to the heels. It's kind of weird what it does. It's kind of angled like this. So, and then you have your feet, you know, and like this, and tip like this. So even when you're standing straight, you're kind of like all curved like this. But once you add like the muscles over that and everything, it kind of hides all the bones, and it doesn't look this weird. You know, as you can see, you kind of, maybe not so much. But anyway, so when you look at it from the side, especially, the human body is just a bunch of different curves. So yeah, deal with it. Now we're gonna do the hands, the arms, I mean, and again, it's all of it's the same thing, same distances, everything. So it's all there. Actually, let's tweak the legs because it's a little bit too long for my taste. All right, there you go. It's a little bit better. Come on, what the hell? My Photoshop is ruining my life right now. All right, and now you can see like there's, you know, some distinct shapes in there. What I think about when I do the torso from the side, it just looks like a big bean basically. So let's put some color in here. I'll change the brush so it's not as artistic. So when you do the torso, think of it as, you know, once you're done with all your three spheres, so rib cage, abdomen, and the hips area, it should look like a bean, right? So something like this, and a curved bean. So from the side, it looks like something like this. Let's see. And then attached to that bean is gonna be, you know, of course, the head. Let's do a different color for the head. The head that is this shape. And then the neck, I'm gonna do all the connections in red. Neck goes to the back of the bean, because the back of the bean, this curve here, is the spine. And there you go. And for the legs, right, it just connects here, and bam, bam, bam. And then arms. There you go. So this is what I've got it down to when I think of the male figure. So it's really simple, you know, and if you think of it this way when you do any kind of drawing, that's all you need for it to be to make sure that it works in the first place. So if you don't have that, you know, if you look at these proportions and, you know, this is not always this size, this, you know, same distance here, same distance here, same as this, here, same distance, same distance. If you don't have this curve here, that's kind of I guess like a soft M if you want to, whatever, no, don't take that. But you know, if you don't have all these proportions, then it's gonna be wrong, obviously. So as long as you have that, you're all set. And once you only think of it this way, I can just create a dynamic pose using, you know, these very basic things. So if I curve the beans, the other way. Then that's like as if he's, you know, leaning forward. So the head's gonna be kind of like this, and the spine's gonna be like this instead. You have your legs on each side, knee, feet, heel, feet, arms that are starting here. This one is kind of behind the head, and he's just hanging there. So, you know, same distance, click, click, click. Same here, same here, same here. And that guy is, I don't know what the hell he's doing. He's probably throwing up. But, you see, and once you have that, then all you have to do is go over it, and you know where everything is supposed to be. So, you know, you can create your head the way it should be, then, you know, add the right perspective, and everything is in place for you to, you know, bring this thing to the next level. I'm not going to do this now. This is more of, you know, whatever. This is the backbone of a drawing, so it's not going to be too in depth. That's going to be for the next video. But yeah, this is what I do when I speed paint. Basically, this is what I think about always. And if you can do it the way I did for, you know, the first one, for this one, without having all the reference points for the joints, then practice using this. And that's what I did for a long time until I just got used to doing that. But this is like, this is it right there. That's all you need. And it doesn't take, I mean, anybody can draw a bean and a bunch of lines and a bunch of points and maintain, you know, the same distance between the joints like I'm showing you here. So yeah, it's just practice. And you know, if you still can do it, I would suggest you just give up. I never said to give up, but if you can draw beans and a bunch of lines, and yeah, it's gonna be real hard. Yeah. So alright, so next we are gonna do 3-color review for this. So what I do, you know, what the hell do I do when I get to draw a character and that is not just standing still in the side view or in the front view? So obviously when you introduce perspective, you know, the length of the limbs is going to change depending on their angle. So, you know, the joints are going to be maybe closer together than they are on the side view here. I think of it differently when I you know, when I approach it. So let's start with the head for now. So for the shapes I used, you know, I'm not going to use a bean because it's kind of hard to see in 3D. For the side, I'm going to use just rectangles, so really easy to draw, you know, as long as you have some slight knowledge of perspective, you can do this. And you know, if you look at it from the side, it's going to be one box that's going to be like this, another box, well, this one I never draw, but whatever, you can just do a sphere for this one, and another box is going to be like that. So, you know, 2 different angles for the boxes. First box is going to be sort of inclined backwards, and the other one the opposite. And this is like everything's going to attach to that. And again, if you want to pose it, it's really easy to, you know, rotate the box a little bit. It would, you know, it's a box, it's a perspective for a box, so it's the simplest shape you can think of when you think of perspective. So it doesn't get, I mean, it can't be easier than this. And once you have your shapes, you know, you have, now remember, you'll have your spine that sort of connects everything here. So if you take, I'm gonna draw like the inside of the box here so you can see what I mean. Right, and if you take the middle of that box here, click, click, and this is where the spine is going to attach itself to. So let's draw it in red again. So the spine's going to go along the middle of the box, curve here, and back out here, so you get the the same this shape. And all I'm doing is keeping the same distance from the middle of the box, the sides here, middle of the box, sides here. So it's not perfect, but you guys, you get it. You get it. And then what I'm gonna do after that, the top of that box is gonna be the shoulders, and yes, you guessed right. The bottom of the second box is gonna be the hip joints, and once you got that, and it's pretty much the same as the other views. So it's gonna be just sticks, joints, stick, and that's it. You look at this, and the boxes might be a little too wide and whatnot, but that's the idea. You'll tweak it over time when you start to do it. What I'm gonna do once I'm done, putting the arms onto this guy, I am gonna do more of a dynamic pose, and I'm gonna speed it up just a little bit so that you guys see the process. And it's it's the same process. So I'm keeping all of this that I've just showed you in mind, and I'm just gonna go in and apply that and create something a little bit more interesting than just a standing pile of boxes. Alright, so like I used to, like I normally start, my two boxes, my ball in the middle, that's sort of the glue in between them. They are, you can see, they're tilted in the 3D space. So I just added a little bit of shading there so that you can get a better idea. But yeah, after that, you just build muscle into it, and makes it really, really easy. It's almost, you don't have to think about much. You just, if you have good anatomy knowledge or even decent anatomy knowledge, the muscles you put in between the joints are going to be the right length, because your joints are placed at the right distance, and everything's kind of gonna work because the foundation for it is good. So that covers pretty much everything I wanted to show you guys for the male bodies. Next, I'm gonna go more in depth, with this when I talk about the female, and it's gonna be a little bit more advanced perhaps than this one was, because I have to, place more complex geometric shapes in the 3D space. So that's gonna be a little bit harder. But as for this one, I hope you guys still got something out of it. This is how I work, or actually this is how I used to work, and it's worked. What the hell was that? My chair just exploded. And anyways, this is what's been working for me over the years, and I couldn't think of a better way to do it looking back now. So yeah, I hope it helped you guys, and please hit the subscribe button, as this is helping me big time. And yeah, so I will see you guys next time, and as usual, thanks for watching, and peace out.